Hi YouTube, Rorals here. I hope everyone is having a great day. Today we are doing a character tier list for Xenoblade Chronicles, just the first game in the trilogy, not all three. Note that this tier list is made up of only main or story characters from the game. There might be some characters that you think should be on this list, and some characters you think probably shouldn't be on this list, and I kind of agree with you on some of them that shouldn't be on this list. I got this off of a tierlist.com website, or tiermaker.com. So it's just a list we're using. So just keep that in mind. Some characters you think maybe should be on the list might not be on it, and some characters that are on the list probably shouldn't be on it. We're just going with what was already made because it's faster and easier for me to work with. So nothing to note is that although I just finished playing Xenoblade Chronicles on twitch.tv/Rorals, in case you missed it, there are live VODs of it on the YouTube. Most of my experience playing the game was only main content. I did very little side content. So keep that in mind when I'm ranking some of these characters. I know some of these characters get more flushed out in side content. I probably, or honestly, most likely did not get to them and did not see that content. So keep that in mind when I'm making these tier lists, that I'm mainly just talking about the story. So first on the list we have is Alvis. Now, before the ending of this game, Alvis would probably be on my meh, but because of the end of the game, I have to put him under infuriating. The fact that he is just a AI computer robot program thingy-mabobber, it absolutely infuriates me to no fucking end. I actually thought he was a decently written character, and although we never really get much from him, he still is impactful throughout the story, and he doesn't do anything that, like, is super egregious or anything that makes, like, sticks out that makes me think, like, oh, this, like, I can't stand this guy. But the ending, I'm not a big fan of the ending of Xenoblade, and how they wrote this character and what he stands for is just absolutely infuriating. And I just can't stand that he's just a computer at the end of the day that was brought along to survey and watch over this new world. I hate it, honestly. Arglas. Arglas is also another weird character because when you meet him, you think it's Zanza, which he is Zanza, but he isn't Zanza. But I assume because Zanza is also on the tier list, I assume they're talking about the actual dude before he becomes Arglas, before he becomes Zanza. Zanza takes over. Honestly, for me, he's got to go under irrelevant. We get, like, a good scene with him and Egil talking about the expectations of the creatures of Bionis Mechanis and, you know, pursuing past what's ever out there beyond the sea, kind of striving beyond what's expected of us and stuff, which is a nice little conversation. But other than that, he does play a role in the story, but, like, as a character, I don't really understand or see his motivations. Are not really flushed out, and he just kind of gets lost in the story, honestly. And the more important character is Zanza, not him himself, because he just like feels like a fill-in character that Zanza chose to control. Just not really relevant, kind of forgetful. Don't really enjoy him that much. Next we have is I think it's Chief Dunga is his name. I don't want to put Chief Dunga in meme, because I don't think he's meme-worthy, which is kind of an insult. He's also going under infuriating. No, he's going under irrelevant, sorry. He's not infuriating. There's nothing I really hate about the character, because there's nothing to this character that we get in the game, other than him being the chief, and appointing Riki as hero pawn. Doesn't really have a role, but he plays he plays a role. Yes, he has a role. He's the leader of the No Pawn. He shows up during the alliance that gets created. It's not like he doesn't do anything, but from the standpoint of knowing who the character is and knowing how this character plays a part in the story and how he's connected to the other characters, like, I don't know anything about the dude. Like, I don't know his motivations. I don't know what he likes. I don't know what he dislikes. There's nothing I know. This character is just a plain, boring character. Like, the only thing you need to know about Chief Dunga is that the title Chief. That's what's important about the character. Just the no pawn Dunga, I know nothing about him. All I know is that he plays the role of chief as a stand-in character to, flesh out the leader of the Nopon, so they have a voice during the alliance. So just kind of irrelevant. Dickson. Dickson's also another weird one. Probably would have been higher on my list, but he probably went from pretty good to, I don't know if he's pretty good or meh, because I really didn't mind him for most of the game. I think he's under meh. His motivations aren't bad necessarily, but he just gets really annoying the longer the game goes on, especially once he reveals he's working with Zanza. It's just constantly him talking smack and then running away like a little you-know-what, and then you catch up to him and then he just talks more smack and then he runs away again. This happens like 5 or 6 times in a row. And it reveals later on that he's like actually kind of scared of Shulk and the gang and he wants to, stay away from him. Which is a cool scene, which is why he's not below irrelevant. I just got really annoyed with all his trash talk for a guy who just continuously runs away. It's like a coward, like talking smack and then running away constantly. Not a huge fan of it. Another thing I don't like is they play it up as him being like Shulk's teacher, and we see like one moment at the very beginning of the game, and it's implied that he's raised Shulk like for most of his life, but we never really see that, and I don't really know how how his relationship works with Shulk. I don't know if what kind of chemistry they have and stuff, so it's hard for me to be like, oh, he should be a better character because he raised Shulk, but he also betrayed the kid he raised kind of thing. I don't feel any of that, so it's hard for me to have an attachment between him and Shulk. And overall, I just think the character's not like poorly written. I think he's just fine. I don't love him. I don't hate him. Some of his motivations and the way he handles things is strange. Overall, I think he's just kind of meh. There's some scenes I really like, some scenes I really don't. So, Dunban. Dunban would be my first character in Hell Yes. Now, I want to put Dunban in one of the boys, but his scene with Mumkhar, when they finally defeat Mumkhar, really infuriates me because I really, really wanted him to kill Mumkhar. Because personally, this is before we know Fiora is not actually dead. From what we understand, Fiora is dead, and Mumkhar's literally just come face to face with the guy who murdered his sister and like half the people of Colony 9. And the fact that he doesn't pull the trigger and listens to Shulk, who has like a change of heart, I don't like that scene for a plethora of different reasons. But what's really frustrating about Dunban is I wanted him to be not the protagonist, because that's obviously Shulk, but I wanted him to be the hero character he was supposed to be, and I feel like he just becomes a side character and kind of falls into place along with the other characters towards the end of the game. There are no like real shining moments for Dunban when we get to probably Mechonis onward. There might be like 1 or 2 moments, but especially like towards the end of the game, especially when we get to like Prison Island, I really wanted to see him do more, and he doesn't, and it's really, really frustrating. Personally, I really, really like the character. I like his, he does have kind of a stoic approach to things. I like his cool, rational head. He's a fucking badass. He's not even using his main arm, his sword arm. He's using his other arm to train with the sword, and he still kicks ass. Like, everything about the character is cool, and I like him, and he's enjoyable. He's just not, like, top tier for me. Next we have on here is Egil. At first, Egil would be under infuriating. Egil is not under infuriating because I finished the game. Haha, yay. Egil would go under, I want to say meh. Again, there are some things I really... No, see, I'm going to put him under pretty good. Without knowing the Mechonis' side perspective on history, he would definitely be infuriating. But once you get everything you know about him, you kind of understand where he's coming from and why he's so distrustful towards other people, because he knows more than everyone else does. Like, he knows about Zanza, and he knows about Meyneth, whereas the other characters in the story don't, and they don't have that information that he's got. So he's obviously he's an antagonist for almost most of the game towards Shulk, but it's not like he has a problem with Shulk himself. He has more of a problem with who is wielding the Monado and the Monado itself, because he knows what it represents and what it's done in the past. The more I got to know him, the more I actually liked his intentions, and I think they did a really good job of masking both his actual beliefs versus what his intentions look like, which can be kind of confusing the way I'm wording that, but like the way he's acting makes the audience feel one way, but you don't know the other side of the story, like why he's doing what you're doing, and then once you figure out, like once you get perspective, you understand where he's coming from. And I actually think he's a pretty solidly written character. He's not a protagonist, he's not an antagonist, he's just a guy trying to prevent like a repeat of history, and he wants to keep his people safe. And the only way he thinks he knows how to is through violence, which I can't exactly fault the guy. So I actually think he's a pretty written character. He's way more enjoyable than I thought he'd be, especially early on. So props to Egil, good character. Fiora. Oh fuck, Fiora's under infuriating. Fiora's whole character is Shulk. I want to be with Shulk, let me be with Shulk. At first she wasn't like this, and I didn't mind Fiora early on, but once she comes back and when she becomes like Mecha Fiora, her whole character, man, is just, I need to be by Shulk's side, let me be by Shulk's side. She feels so one-dimensional, and it's super infuriating because there's like so much going on in the story, and there's so much more like potential they could have tapped into her character, and they just don't. Like one scene I'm thinking of in particular is, I believe they're at Colony 6 at Miqol's junk ship, and they're having like a raw moment together, right? And Reyn wants to get revenge for Gadolt, so he's like, let's go beat up some Lorithia, right? Dunban is like, yes, for the crimes against humanity, let's go beat them. Riki's like, yes, for my family, let's go beat them, right? Melia's like, yeah, for what they've done to my people, turning them all into Lorithia, let's get revenge. And Fiora just says, Shulk. And it just like, it like put the hammer down, put the stamp down, that her character is so one-dimensional that she is just a love interest for Shulk, and her whole character is there to be for Shulk. And it's so poorly written, it feels like she has no agency, no purpose other than to be there for Shulk. And I despise it, even more than Computer Alvis. I hate characters like that completely, so she's under infuriating. Gadolt, I mean, Gadot's under meh. I'm gonna keep this simple. I don't think he's a poorly written character, I just don't think we ever got enough of him. I think if we got more of him, he'd actually be probably pretty good. The little we did get about him, I liked. I just don't think we got enough. He seemed pretty cool, you know, typical, soldier, but actually has morals. So that was kind of cool to see. But for the most part, he's probably under irrelevant. He's under like high irrelevant. I just don't think we have enough about him. The little we do get, I don't mind, but just not enough. Juju. Juju is a character child that his whole purpose is to create conflict and be an obstacle for the characters in the story. I hate Juju. I hate Juju. Juju sucks. Juju is like the worst type of character child that just whines and cries and then runs off and creates trouble, and we have to go save him. Infuriating. Don't like Juju. Kallian, I believe his name is? Kallian, I think. Kallian's under pretty good. I actually really enjoy Kallian. I understand his motives. I like his motives. I understand where he's coming from. He wants to truly do good for people, both for his sister, for all of Bionis, and for the High Lorithia. He has a very mature view on the world, and he admits when he's wrong, and he's willing to pivot and change his decisions that are best for the people around him. The only thing I don't really like about him is he could have communicated better with Melia about the situations that they're in, about their history, about the reason why she's a half-breed, why they need to dilute the blood. You could have explained this all to her, it's one of my biggest problems with Xenoblade is no one talks to each other. Just communication is awful throughout the entire story of this game, which I don't know if that's intentional or not, but there are just some things about his character that I don't love, but for the most part, he's a solid character. Like, does a great job. I like the character, fits his role perfectly. Awesome, great. Next is Lania. Ooh, Leda. Ooh, no, it's not Leda. The doctor on the bottom of Makanis. She's under irrelevant. She's not really a bad character. She helps Fiora a little bit. She doesn't really play a huge role in the story. She seems like a decent person, but I don't know nearly enough about her at all to really care. So yeah, she's under irrelevant. Pretty quick and simple character. She's there. She helps a little bit towards the end of the game, but doesn't really have a strong impact on the story. Lorithia would be under meh. I think Lorithia would actually be higher. My problem with Lorithia is we don't get enough about her. She is shrouded in the same kind of intentional darkness, quote-unquote, that Dunban and Alvis have, but they have very strong and intentional reasons for why we can't reveal who they are and what they're doing. With her, she doesn't have that same kind of gravitas, and I feel like the game would have benefited to seeing more from her perspective and more of what she was trying to accomplish. At the end of the day, all she wanted to really have was immortality. She was just lusting for power, which is kind of crap, honestly, but throughout the story, I didn't really mind her decisions and what she was doing. She kept me interested, which is one reason why I liked Alvis and Dickson too, is they kept you interested, because you would get small tidbits about them that were important, and she plays a role in the story, don't get me wrong. She helps transform the Hyantia into Telethia. She helps create new weaponry and stuff. It's not like she's irrelevant. I just mean as a character, I never got enough from her, and then when you beat her as a boss and she dies, you just find out she wanted to be immortal, and that's just kind of meh. Like, if I got more from her, understanding why she wanted to be immortal, that would be a lot better, but we never get any of that. So, she's just meh for me. Don't love her, don't hate her. Melia. Melia. I don't know if Melia is... No, Melia's meh. Melia's meh. One, I have to agree with everyone. The ending for Melia is fucking tragic, and she has no character resolution at all. We just get to see her stare out into the nothingness. And even when Fiora asks her what she's looking at, she just says, nothing in particular. Like, there's nothing in her mind. It's such a shit fucking ending for a major character in a party for a video game. She has no resolution. It's freaking awful. I wish we got way more time with Melia's character, because I don't think the character got flushed out, and I don't think she reached her true potential as a character. It's hard to understand some of what she's thinking and some of her motivations because it's not explained. For example, her liking Shulk and seeing Shulk as a romantic interest, you don't really see that until you've already completed the entire Hyantia quest, and Sharla brings it up to her before she decides to join your party and leave Hyantia and leave the Hyantia to her brother. I don't like moments like that because I feel like you can be subtle in terms of like her as a romantic interest for Shulk, but I didn't think there were like any hints of it at all. And then in the cutscene, Sharla's like, "You like Shulk, don't you?" And she's like, she basically admits that she does, and it's like, where did that come from? I got no hints, no indication that you had any towards of romantic interest towards this guy. It felt so shallow, and I felt like that explains like most of her character in general. She's really shallow. She has a lot of good ideas, and a lot of cool concepts they could have done with her character. They just don't go through with it to the depth that you would like to see a major character go through, and therefore she's just kind of meh. Like, she should be pretty good, she might even should be hell yes, but I don't think she doesn't get enough screen time, and I don't get to understand her intentions enough to put her any higher than meh. She's just kind of there in the party. She's important, don't get me wrong, but as a character as a whole, she's just kind of eh. Lady Meyneth. I want to put Lady Meyneth under infuriating. I think I'm gonna put her under meh for the fact that I didn't mind her character and some of her intentions, like her character and some of the decisions she makes. I just question her thought process and how she went about doing what she did. Again, this goes back to the whole communication thing, is I feel like her character would have benefited a lot from just talking to other characters about what's going on. And the fact that we don't get a lot of stuff about Meyneth or her intentions or anything really in general until basically right before Zanza kills her is kind of infuriating. Once we get what we get from her, it's not bad. I just wanted more, and we just didn't get enough. She really didn't get fleshed out. She didn't get much screen time in terms of like explaining, in terms of finding out like who she is as a character, who she is as a quote-unquote person / god, whatever you want to call her. And I felt underwhelmed with her character in a lot of times. So I'm just going to keep her at meh. There are some things writing-wise that are like infuriating about her, but like as a character as a whole, there's some scenes I really like with her and some scenes I don't really care for, so she's just kind of eh. Miqol. I love the voice actor, don't get me wrong. Voice actor's great. Miqol is going under irrelevant. I'm sorry, he is. We get a little bit of his backstory. We know about his connection to Egil and Vanea, his son and daughter. I just said I like the dude, so he's not irrelevant. No, he's not irrelevant. I'm gonna put him under meh, just because it doesn't make sense. This is a likable character chart tier list, not a constructive tier list. Yeah, this is a likability tier list, not a constructive tier list. And I do like the character for what we get from him, so I can't put him under irrelevant. I'm just gonna keep him at meh. From the little we did get about him, he's pretty great. I like his voice acting's fucking great, honestly. He's probably my favorite voice actor in the entire game. So I wanted more from him, and we didn't get more, so which is kind of disappointing, but for where he is, he's meh. Mumkhar, infuriating. I hate one-dimensional, boring characters like Mumkhar. I'm sorry, he's just stereotypical evil villain. I wanted power. It should have been me, not him. So he gets granted this cool, immeasurable power of turning into a face, and what does he use that power for? To get revenge and go around slaughtering people, and he enjoys doing it. I don't get enough of a motivation from him. The only thing he has is he has beef with Dunban because he felt like he should have been the hero, not Dunban. And he's just kind of jealous of Dunban as a whole, honestly, because he has shitty self-esteem issues. Just shitty, boring character. Not much to say. I don't like him. I'm glad he died. So, Otharon. Otharon, for me, is also meh. I don't want to say I want more from him because I pretty much got what we needed from him. Now he's going under irrelevant. Not from a story standpoint, just from a likability standpoint. We get what we get from him from Sharla's quest, and then everything going forward is just kind of more of the same old, same old. He's very passionate about his people, Colony 6, the Homs in general. Doesn't like the High Entia because they weren't there to help the Homs during the battle at Sword Valley. I can't believe I remember that, holy crap. Just not a bad character, just he fulfills the role he's meant to play, and we don't get more about him, and that's fine. He's just kind of irrelevant to me. Okay, moving on. Reyn, I don't know if Reyn to me is meh or pretty good. I'm gonna put Reyn under pretty good. For the most part, I like Reyn. I just feel like he gets really stagnant really quickly in the story, and just kind of plays the same role of protectorate / keep Shulk in check, which is not bad, and I enjoyed seeing him on screen. There's just not a huge amount of depth with the character that I would have liked to see. You get to see quite a lot of that actually with Sharla. Him and Sharla's relationship I actually really enjoy. So don't get me wrong, I don't not like Reyn. I like Reyn as a character. I just don't think he fulfilled his role, but he didn't exceed it, I guess is the best way of putting it. So I'm just gonna keep him as pretty good. Riki's a meme. Sorry, Ricky's a meme character. He has some funny, he has some good moments, don't get me wrong, character moments. No, Ricky's not a meme. I can't put Riki as a meme. He has some serious moments, and he's part of the core group. I can't put a core party member as a meme. He's irrelevant to me. To me, he's irrelevant. He has some good moments. He's there to lighten the mood. He's there for comedic effect a lot of the times. I don't really... At first, I thought I'd hate him, I'll be honest with you. But by the time I got to the end of the game, he's part of the group. He's there. To me, I don't really have a lot I like about him, but I don't really have a lot to hate about him. But I don't necessarily like him. So yeah, irrelevant, I guess, is the best place for him. Sharla. Sharla's pretty good, honestly, at least for me. I like what she brings to the table, and I think she does a really good job of fulfilling her role. And I like that she has a lot of conflict in her character about... Well, no, she's not really that deep either. That's another problem. There's a lot of characters in this game that aren't really... I like Sharla, so she's going to be in pretty good just because I like the character. End of story. I like that I'm getting more contextual instead of just likability. I like that she's fucking badass. I like that she's headstrong. I like that she jumps into battle without any caution. We see that multiple times where she's leading the charge. She's very emotional and she's willing to show her emotions. She's great at communicating and talking to others. She's also a medic, so she's a competent medic from what we get from the story, at least. I'm not talking about gameplay wise. I think solid character. I think she was a good fit for the party. Enjoyable, good character. Like having her on screen. Honestly, my favorite female character probably in the entire Xenoblade Chronicles. But that's not really saying much if you've looked at my list so far. Shulk. Infuriating. Shulk's infuriating. I don't like Shulk. I don't like Shulk. I hate Shulk's lack of communication skills. I hate Shulk's the way he handles conflict. I hate the way he goes about thinking about things. There's so many things that just piss me off about Shulk to no end. Now, I don't like Alvis because I think Alvis is like a poorly written character in my opinion. I don't think Shulk is necessarily like a poorly written character. I just don't like characters like Shulk. I really don't. He just bugs me and pisses me off like every other scene I see of him in it. And it's weird because I didn't feel that way at first about him, but the longer we got to know him, the more he's in the game, it's like nails on a chalkboard, man. Just over and over again, just infuriating. His relationship with Fiora also is just like, oh, it's so like cliche romancy. It's like cringeworthy. Some of the scenes with them are not great. The one redeeming quality that I did really like about him is that his whole goal was to find Fiora or avenge Fiora, I guess. And then once he finds/avenges Fiora, he loses kind of some of his bravado and some of his motivation. And I really like that because that's true, right? Because once he's accomplished his goal, part of his meaning and purpose has gone away. And I really like to see him struggle with that. And I wish we got a little bit more of it, but that's one redeeming quality I did find about Shulk. But overall, I don't like him. I really don't like Shulk. Sorean, pretty good. Sorean's just like Kallian. Honestly, you could one in the same. I like them for the same reasons. I also hate them for the same reasons due to their lack of communication skills. But I like that he's thinking family first, kingdom first. Even if I have to kill myself, I'm doing what I think is best for the kingdom. Pretty good character. I honestly would have liked to see a bit more from him. Again, just like his son, makes a mistake about Shulk and his group because he saw the Monado. Creates an assumption about who they are and what they are doing without actually communicating with them first, and then he admits his faults and wrongdoing. So honestly, just like his son, they're pretty similar characters. Some things I wish were better, but overall pretty good. Tyrea, irrelevant. I mean, I know she has her own side quests that you do. I had friends asking me if I was going to play that. They want me to play it or watch it. I haven't done it. She's going under irrelevant. I know literally nothing about her other than you fight her. Just not important character. Vanea. I'd like Vanea, but we don't get enough about her, and it's frustrating. I want to put her in pretty good, but I don't think we got enough from her to put her in pretty good. So I'm going to put her in meh. I think for me, she would have actually been pretty good, maybe even hell yes. I just don't get enough of her as a character to really understand what she is and like what makes her tick in a way. Like, we get that stereotypical, she wants to help her brother, but at the same time she wants more of the pacifist route. She wants more of peace for both the Mechonis and the Bionis. I get all that. That's not poorly written. I like it. I just wanted something deeper. We never got that, so meh. Colonel, whatever his name is, that's a meme character. I'm sorry. He even didn't die when I thought he died. He's just straight up a meme character. He's funny. I like seeing him on screen. There's nothing deep or important about him. He's just a fucking meme character. Xord, irrelevant. I'm just gonna keep this super short. He's a great face that's not Mumkhar. Great face. He's just a face that's not Mumkhar that you fight. I barely remembered his name. So yeah, I assume this is the first queen, aka Kallian's mother. A fucking stupid, infuriating character that is barely even relevant to the story. I don't even know why she's on this tier list. Just doesn't like anyone that's not purebloods. Don't really know why, other than she likes purebloods. She's just shitty evil character to be shitty evil character. No depth to her at all. Fucking boring. I'm not even gonna waste time on that character. And Zanza. Zanza sucks. Zanza's absolute garbage, trash, pee-pee poo-poo garbage. I hate everything about this character. I hate how he's written. I hate his intentions. I hate how they just randomly, during the cutscenes at the very end of the game, were like, oh, he's evil because he didn't have friends. I'm like, when did that ever get brought up or become relevant at all? I have no information to base that off of, other than you said that in a line in the last minute of the game. This character is, like, probably one of the worst villains I've ever seen in a video game period, and is the main reason why I hate the ending so much. Don't get me wrong, I still like the game. The game's still, like, a 7 out of 10. I can still hate things about a game and hate characters and still enjoy the game. So, I am sounding a little harsh in this video. I just, from a likability standpoint, I hate everything about this character. This character is so boring and so predictably bad and gross. There's nothing to like about this character. I don't even understand his motivations either. He's just like awful. He's fucking awful. I don't like him. So yeah, anyways, that's the end of my tier list. I've been already rambling for 38 minutes now, probably a bit longer than I should have gone. Again, a lot of people probably aren't going to agree with this tier list, but heck, it's my tier list. Sorry if my thoughts are a bit jumbled, if I didn't even really explain myself that well. This isn't scripted, this is just off the top of my head. So, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hope it's at least somewhat enjoyable. I know some of you might absolutely hate it, and some people might like it. But anyways, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you guys next time for another video. Bye-bye.